I come acknowledging that we have sinned against the people of Jamaica.
Yes, hopeful people, welcome back everyone. Thank you very much for supporting our channel. In today's views, we will be looking at the Prime Minister's speech at the launch of the Spark program, which honestly could be classified as a good move. But my people, too late after in power for the past 8 years. This is nothing but mere political game for political gain and a mere distraction with all what's going on in the Holness administration. That is my opinion. What is your thoughts on this, hopeful people? Share your comments below. Let's have that discussion. And if you are new here, welcome. Remember to subscribe and press all on the notification bell for the instant access to new uploads. Thank you. Let's get into it.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremony. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our listeners virtually and those watching online. In 2023, we announced the Shared Prosperity through Accelerated Improvement in Our Road Network, SPARK program, the largest and most comprehensive program in our independent history to improve our road network, including our community roads. This is a massive program that required extensive planning, community-based consultations across the island, as well as an international competitive bidding process. And we are finally at the point today where we will sign the contract for works. I am pleased to report that we have completed all the processes without compromising any guidelines established for good fiscal management, anti-corruption, and transparency. This is something to be celebrated. We have undertaken this massive project in record time and with full compliance. Yes. Through the international competitive bidding process, 8 construction companies responded to the request for pre-qualification. There were 2 local companies and 6 international companies. Only 5 companies, however, were successful at the end of this phase of the process. The request for bid proposal was sent to the 5 pre-qualified construction companies. 4 of the 5 contractors submitted bid proposals for the 4 work packages at the end of August 2024. 2 of those 4 did not make it past this stage, and it was then down to 2 companies. After the evaluation and consistent with the Public Procurement Act and regulations, we entered into negotiations with the highest ranked bidder. China Harbour Engineering Company was that highest ranked bidder. The government concluded those negotiations on September 30th, 2024. As required under our procurement rules, there had to be what is called a standstill period, where notice of the successful bidder was communicated to all the bidders. This notice period ended on October 11, 2024. I see MP Michael Phillips here, who asked me a question in Parliament: when are we going to name who was the successful bidder? That question was asked maybe 2 or 3 times in debates. And because we wanted to be in absolute compliance with the rules, we did not disclose who the successful bidder was until we had completed what was required of us from a legal standpoint. This then paved the way for the contract to be sent to the Public Procurement Commission, which was done on November 11, 2024. The contract was then approved by the Cabinet on November 25, 2024. The contractor was subsequently issued with the letter of award requesting their insurance and bonds. Upon receipt of these, the contractor will be, upon receipt of these, and I'm hoping that you are going to receive them shortly, if not already, the contractor will mobilize to commence work, which will begin this month. I had committed that it would start within this year. If it could start tomorrow, I'd be the happiest person. I am told that there is a date in mind, but I'm not going to say what that date is. When we are certain, and that can only be when the backhoe is on the site, then we will say we have begun. But the marching order is that the work must begin this month. The construction contracts, that would be in 4 packages, are scheduled for 2 years with an additional year for defects liability period, during which the contractor would carry out any repairs owing to defects. I mean, to put it another way, the contractor would be liable for any defects, which means they would have to pay for it. Today, we will be signing 4 contracts in the aggregated total of 36 billion, 41 million, 590,000, 285 Jamaican dollars. It sounds like a lot. Yes, and it is. So that's $36.04 billion in total. An additional 5 billion will also be spent on water infrastructure, of which 2 billion will be spent on pipes, water mains. So in total, it's about $38 billion will be spent on infrastructure that will be in the ground. The 4 packages are as follows. Package 1, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. Package 2, St. Catherine and Clarendon. Package 3, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and Hanover. And Package 4, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, and Portland. And that would total, as I had said before, overall approximately $38 billion, 36 applicable to road infrastructure. In terms of a breakdown of what the rehabilitation and water installation contracts could look like, I won't go into all of that detail, that's quite a bit. I have previously explained that the project will be divided into 2 distinct phases. There is a local component, meaning a focus on community roads, and the other component being a focus on main roads. For the purpose of management of this project, the NWA will be responsible for the management and implementation of all works. They will be supported by teams of engineers, consultants, and other technical professionals. So we expect that there will be sufficient oversight of the work of the contractors. I want to make an important point here that it has never always been the case that when we undertake these large projects, that we upfront the development cost, what we call the pre-investment costs, and in that pre-investment cost, build in a cost for supervision, particularly technical supervision. Sometimes we rely on the in-house expertise of the NWA. But the truth is, with all the projects that the NWA is now undertaking, we would not have the standing capacity to supervise these works to the level that would be required to ensure value for money. So a part of the cost is actually a line item for the pre-investment costs, That is to prepare for going to the public investment assessment process. That means we will have to do, if we have not done already, the environmental impacts, the economic and social impacts, in addition to doing the engineering designs, meeting the standards, in addition to the cost of procurement, and then building into that also the constant supervision that is necessary to ensure value for money. And that's quite a tidy sum. That is in excess of $3 billion of the entire $45 billion allocated. So we expect that many of the problems that we ran into in other projects, we will not have it in the Spark program. I want to spend some time as well to explain to the public, and I find it necessary to do so, because even persons that I think would have the necessary understanding of the project and what we're doing, including members of parliament, seem to believe that this is a road repair routine maintenance program. This is not a routine maintenance road repair program. This is part of the capital budget of Jamaica. And when it comes to capital expenditure, there are certain legal and regulatory requirements that must be complied with. That's number one. And so I think the Jamaican public listening on should understand that the Spark program is a capital investment. And the difference between regular maintenance and the capital investment is that the capital investment creates entirely new value. That adds to your GDP. There are those who feel that, Prime Minister, you should just take that $45 billion and patch all the roads. There is a certain common sense logic to it. But if you think deeply on the problem, patching the roads is a temporary solution for convenience. It is necessary to do it, but it is not a long-term solution to Jamaica's aged infrastructure. If we were patching the roads as a preemptive measure to a deteriorating infrastructure, then it would make sense. But what we really need to do is to make a substantial improvement, creating new value in our road network. And so that is what the Spark program is designed to do. Every day I wrestle with people who think short-term, convenience, exigency, and immediate gratification. And, yes, you have to deal with what is the case right now. But you know what has happened to us? Because we are dealing with what is the case right now, what is the case right now becomes the case in the future. And so Jamaica has been dealing with this for the last 40 years because we have been dealing with it in the way that we have done it. My job is to change the way in which we do it and bring the people along with us. So this is the first time that there is this massive allocation of public resources that is going to change the way in which we maintain our roads. So all the cynical people and all the people who believe it won't happen, it has started. It has started. So I want to spend a little time now on the process used to select the roads. And for the first time ever, we introduce public consultation in road selection. Every constituency held a consultation with stakeholders and just average constituents who could come and say, this is my road, I need it fixed. And I want to thank the CDF, Mrs. Campbell Rochester, for the work that was done by that unit in mobilizing and supporting the MPs along with the NWA and local government to ensure that there was a significant level of community participation. And I found it meaningful because as a member of parliament myself, I held my consultation and my constituents came. Some were disagreeable, others were understanding, and others were skeptical. But nonetheless, they came, they expressed their views, and created effectively a list of roads that they would like to see repaired. The notes were taken and fed to the NWA, so there is a listing of roads, over 600 roads. Now, there has to be another process when those roads are finally scoped to say how many of the roads that were suggested could actually be upgraded. And the members of parliament, who are the elected representatives of the people, that's what their job is. They would then have to, if they want to hold other consultations or directly with the NWA, determine the roads that are going to be repaired from the lists that came from the consultations. So that process will begin shortly. In fact, very soon. I gather that certain constituencies have been selected to start. I know mine is on the top of the list. No, mine is no. I'm just kidding. My constituency is not on the list. But I do know that St. Andrew Western, which is my neighboring constituency, represented by MP Tony Hilton, he will be the first one in the corporate area. Yes, so he will. So St. Andrew Western will be the first constituency in the corporate area. In rural Jamaica, I believe it is J.C. Hutchinson. That's northwest. That's northwest St. Elizabeth, and then we come back to Kingston to the urban area. Then we would do St. Andrew Northwestern, and then we go back to the rural area, and it would be Manchester Northwestern as well. And then we come back to Kingston, and it would be St. Andrew East Rural. So that is how we intend to kick off the program. After that, obviously, it's all the roads would begin. I'm very happy to see that the commitment for the website is up. Now, to be clear, the website is there for public information, but there is a phase 2 to it, which we intend to incorporate the public as our eyes and ears. Because, there is a growing public participation through social media, where you see so many things being posted, and you do have to monitor social media because you pick up, many issues that are just placed in the public domain, but they do not necessarily reach the sources of authority to address them. So we do try to survey social media to see what the problems are, and so that we can address them. But there might be a more effective way, which is to offer on the website a platform through which concerned citizens can directly raise their concerns, directly point out shortcomings, call out underperformance to us so that we are able to respond. So this is a way of engaging the public to hold the government, but also the contractors and their subcontractors to account. So the next phase of the development of the website, Minister, is to have that public engagement. Yes, sir. I want to thank the Ministry of Local Government for their participation in this program. And we have integrated local government roads in this program as well. We will have to do some gymnastics to have this accomplished, because The legislative structure of our roads is that they are gazetted according to the department of government that has responsibility. So roads that are under the responsibility of local government should only be financed by local government, especially if we are doing capital investments. And therefore, we will have to move some of the roads from the register of local government to the central government registry or gazette of roads in order to be in compliance. But of course, we will gladly return them when it is complete. But it does suggest that we need a total reform of how we treat with roads from a legislative perspective, because there are some roads that have no administrative authority in charge of them, and those are called orphan roads. These are roads that are built in housing schemes. These are roads that are built in certain developments, subdivisions that have taken place that were not formally handed over or accepted by the local authority, and they are just there for years, not repaired, because the local government can't spend on them. Otherwise, they would be written up by the Auditor General. So we have to use this as an opportunity to relook at the legislative structure that defines the register of roads in Jamaica. And we have started that process with the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. We have a GIS, Geographic Information Systems and Data Management unit in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, and they have done an amazing job in partnership with local government in measuring all the roads. And we are almost complete with measuring all roads, whether they are local government, NWA, farm roads, orphan roads, whatever. We have measured all the roads. So we now have, or will have at the end of this process, a fairly accurate register, including measurement and state of repair of all roads. And that's a good place to start. Once we have that, then we will start to build out a maintenance schedule, a preventative maintenance schedule. So we will be looking at the roads and determining what roads need to be totally upgraded. And then once upgraded, what is the maintenance schedule that would keep those roads in good repair over a long period of time. And once you have that, then you go to your financial budget. You then begin to understand what is the level of financial allocation that you would have to make to keep the roads in a good state of repair. What has happened to us over these many, many years is that there is a disconnect between the engineered requirement for the maintenance of the road and the fiscal budget, the financial wherewithal to keep the roads maintained at the engineered standard. What we're going to be moving towards now, when we implement Spark, those 600 roads, 660 roads we'll probably do under Spark in total. Those roads will now be placed on their engineered maintenance schedule with a budget to match. And you will find that over time, if you do that, your maintenance budget actually decreases because you are going to be spending less to maintain the newly upgraded road than each year than you would be spending over several years if you did not maintain the road at all. So that is where we're moving towards a new vision, part of the next chapter of Jamaica's development. So, with those words, and I also want to point out that this program started with great effort from MP Warmington, former minister without portfolio. And he was a great advocate for the program, you must know, and worked very hard to ensure that the program reached to a point where Minister Morgan could take it over and carry the baton to the finish. So with those words, I want to thank all who made this possible. And of course, a word to China Harbour. China Harbour has now effectively become a Jamaican company. Essentially, they have been working in Jamaica now for more than a decade. And we have grown to understand their working structures. And there is a very good understanding between the government of Jamaica, government of China, but also between NWA and China Harbour. And they know the quality of work that we expect. It has not always been the case that the quality of work that we expect has been delivered, but the truth is that on these enterprise level contracting, China Harbour has been a very good partner to us. And we expect that this program will be executed with the greatest value for money achieved, with the least discomfort to the residents and citizens of the area. So with those few words, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. We move now to the contract signing, and then I will return to this podium with a further announcement.
Loyal viewers and subscribers, honorable people, give thanks for your support to the AVI-NUE. Know that I appreciate you sincerely. New viewers, welcome on board. Know that your presence is appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. United we win.